Everyone, we're back in Jason's man
Power
cave.
Palace.
The Power Palace. The Power Palace. And today we're talking about how social media can change your life in terms of monetization, building a brand, building a business, and it's low entry and it's free. It's free to start is one of the things. And I think Jason's success story from last year, do you want to do a reminder? Because people might not have heard on my channel your success story last year.
Basically, last year was the first time where I'd really seen social media income overtake everything else I'd ever done in my life combined, really. You know, bar one kind of development that I did. It's been the biggest earner of anything. So crazy. And I didn't set out for it to be that way. It's just what happened. Like it's just a result of being consistent on there, and it's crazy.
It's putting it out into the world, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been through both stages, luckily, where I've built a business without social media, when it didn't even exist.
Yeah.
And then I've done it with social media.
Yeah.
It's completely different world.
Yeah.
But I do think that people who only know the world of social media now are hesitant to do it because they think it's hard.
Yeah.
Because they're comparing hard to really nothing that's hard.
Yeah.
If you try building a business without social media, that's hard.
Borderline impossible now.
Nowadays it is, yeah, absolutely.
The competition's so high. I recently went to the first global TikTok summit, and one of the speakers on stage said, we don't want to call it social media anymore because there's this old narrative that social media is
an add-on.
It's like vanity, posting on holiday, just perfect smiles, perfect body. Whereas we need to come away from the fact that it's social media. Really, it's your window shop now, and people really need to realise that it's your window shop. But I think the hard thing for people to get their heads around, you do have to put a lot out before anything formulates.
Yeah.
You really got to try and, like you say,
that's the difference today. It's attention and getting people's attention, and they reckon that people don't really see you until they see you 7 times, right?
Yeah,
and then they don't even start to like you until they've seen you 50 times, and then they start becoming a fan when they've seen you 200 times.
Yeah.
So if you're posting once for 5 days and then you go, oh, no one's really looking at my stuff, that's not going to cut it.
No.
You need to be posting hit 250 posts, minimum.
Well, you said it, didn't you? 80-20 rule.
Give
80%.
Exactly that, yeah.
Sometimes even more. I mean, that's one thing that I've come to realise is that you actually start creating an obligation for yourself. Like if you're going to start as you mean to go on. I always say it's the people that can do the free stuff the longest that will be successful.
Absolutely. Well, I was proof of that.
Yeah.
That was it. I was putting out stuff with the hope of nothing in return.
Yeah.
For years.
Well, something was really interesting, right? I've been saying for a while, with TikTok, it's for everyone and it can change your life. And one thing they said at the summit, this global TikTok summit in London, they used an example of a mechanic, right? Who was earning £14 an hour. I can't remember what the username was. And they said he started live streaming how to change parts on a car. His live streaming, his attention started to take over his hourly rate. Yeah. So then he went independent. And now everyone wants to use him. It was the same with the pool guy.
Pool guy, yeah. Oh, well, there's hundreds of cases of this because I make pizzas, and there's a pizza guy who runs a pizza van in St Albans, but because he decides to stream on YouTube, he's now a global attraction, and people are now coming to him, want to pay him more for their weddings and their events to come and do pizzas, and they'll pay a premium for that.
Yeah.
Because it's basic economics, when you can get more attention and you build more trust with more people, demand outweighs supply.
And also, the thing with social media is it's a place for your proof of concept. I was talking with a tradesman who's a carpenter, and he said, people don't really trust things like Checker Trade now. They actually want to see a video of you in someone's house and doing the work.
Well, this is why I've always said qualifications are pointless because it's If I was getting married and I wanted some great wedding photographer, all I'll do is look on Instagram and go, I want that what you've done there.
Yeah.
I want that result. I don't care how long you've been at school. Yeah. I want that image.
I want that.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And it's a place as well to dump testimonials as well. Like social media is a great way of taking all the good stuff that you're doing and validating it to the world.
It is. It is your qualification.
Yeah.
That is your qualification. I'm in the world of finance, and I didn't have an economics degree. I didn't go to college and study economics. Didn't go to university, and I had an accountant who was probably on 80 grand a year at the time when I left school. When I left to start my business, I had a financial advisor who was probably on 100 grand a year through commissions on various products he was selling, and they'd spent 6-7 years at uni doing all these longed out things. Within a year of leaving school, pretty much, I was advising people on wealth, actual wealth, and getting paid, 500 quid for a Skype call.
Yeah.
And I was on like 100 grand a year just doing a few Skype calls a week.
Yeah.
So I was in the world of finance, but I'd outperformed them just from,
mad
from that. And
no overheads. No, that's the other thing. Social media, free to start, no overheads. It is value driven. You do have to deliver every single day and be consistent. You have got to play in favour of the algorithm. But if you stick with it, I mean, for me, I've been on TikTok now nearly 22 months and it's generated over now £140,000 collectively. I didn't expect it to, but I also started, like Jason, with just the idea of putting my name out there, adding value and trying to solve problems. So if you're watching this thinking, yeah, I'd love to do all that, I'd love to get on social media, the first thing you've got to figure out is what problem can you solve that you're passionate about as well. I actually had this conversation yesterday. Someone in one of my memberships said, I don't know what to do. I said, you've got to figure out, you've got to solve a problem. And he's like, trying to figure out actually what he can solve for someone.
Well, best thing, that's where people overthink it. I think you just look at your life and what you've achieved.
Yeah.
It could be anything from you went through bankruptcy to you've got a good marriage and you've got a long-lasting marriage to you went through a divorce to you lost a load of weight to 25-metre badge at swimming. Yeah. There's going to be someone who would love to know the secrets behind that, right?
Yeah.
So I would list everything that you've done, and then you don't necessarily want to teach that. Like, I can drive, but I would not want to teach someone driving. I'd end up punching him. No. I'm so impatient, things like that, because I just don't like driving. But if it's something that you've done and you want to teach, then you've got a tick, and you can go, I can move this forward.
Do you think people devalue themselves and their experiences because it's not an actual curriculum? It's not an actual thing. Like, do you think people think
they devalue it for that reason, and for the fact because they know it now? They devalue the getting to that position. Yeah. So there's an inertia. If I know how to make money, and now I don't see that as a very difficult task. But there's some people that can't make money, right? I also know how to make pizzas. Yeah. Right? But there's people that don't know how to make pizzas, but I don't see it as a big achievement anymore because I've just kind of, I'm neutralised to it. Yeah. I've acclimatised to it. So when you start to get good at something, you don't realise how good you are to someone else.
Yeah.
And it's getting in touch with that again and trying to talk to people who are you just before you couldn't do that thing. Yeah. Rather than there's so many people on social media trying to say something profound every day and, trying to say something new every day. And it's like, just stick to the problem that you overcame really well. Yeah. And don't worry about the people that have got that result from listening to you. Talk to the next people who haven't got the result still. Yeah. And just keep repeating yourself. There's a lot to be said for that.
Authority, isn't it? That's the other thing as well. Too many people flitter from one thing to the other.
I was 50, I did.
I was going to say, I think it was 50,000. So let's talk about imposter syndrome. I think that's where it comes from, is people question whether what they've experienced or what they've been through is worthy of teaching someone else.
Yeah, there's a fine line between you looking up to someone and not thinking that your information is valuable enough to share with them, which doesn't matter because you're not talking to that person anyway. Yeah. But second of all, I think imposter syndrome creeps in as your own body's internal mechanism of saying, hang on, you don't actually know a lot about this. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to go too far for what you know. Stay within your lane, because every time I've experienced imposter syndrome, it's where I've gone into a topic where I'm not an expert in, and I start talking about it, and I'm like, that's when the comments start hurting. It's like,
which then reminds you to stick to what you do. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is a bit bullshit, And then it's like, that's when you get imposter syndrome, when you're lying, basically.
Yeah. I think the thing is number one, you've got to believe in yourself. So you kind of have to really understand your experiences, your knowledge, and that there is someone who would love to learn that. And it's how you package it. It's I think you've got to be authentic and transparent along the way, not try to fluff too many things on social media. I also see there's a huge advantage right now to stand out from the crowd, because so many people are fluffing it. So many people are wafflers.
Yeah, it's a skill. Like, I think people are evolving to spot BS.
Yeah.
They are, like, and especially with AI and all that now, it's like, you can just see it a mile off.
Yeah, you can now.
I did this with trading. People wanted to learn to trade. I started teaching them trading, and then I realised that they didn't have any financial savvy whatsoever. So I thought, well, how are you going to, let's just say I give you £1 million to trade. How are you going to manage your emotions? You start making 30 grand trades and things like that, 20 grand trades.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I've never had that much money in my account in my life.
Yeah.
So there's a point of A to B that they need to resolve before they get to the bigger point.
Yeah.
You could just be the person that specialises in that.
Yeah.
And I know plenty of trader mindset coaches. I know, Dr. Brett Steenberger is literally that. He's made a living just from helping traders get through that first hurdle.
Doing that one thing.
Yeah.
But that's how you grow as well. So that's another point, isn't it? Like God, I'm sure Jason's had it as well, but I've had it a lot where people get quite disheartened about not growing quick. I mean, there's nothing quick about any of this. I think that's this disillusion that social media is like an overnight success, and it's really not. Like when people say, oh, how have you done that on TikTok? It was 22 months. Every day, multiple times every day.
Although, can you call that a long time?
It's no.
I know, but that is considered a long time now to people.
It is, but it's every day. Like, I've never missed a day of posting, never missed a day of live streaming, apart from Christmas Day. And then your huge win last year. Well, I mean, how long have you been on YouTube? 8 years?
It was 8 years at that point, yeah.
So, let's go up, actually.
And that was, again, just talking about the same thing, building trust.
Yeah.
Expecting nothing in return. And then, I say expect nothing in return. I believe that everything balances out in the end anyway. So, I was basically, last year, I got deferred income.
Yeah.
For all that work I'd done.
Yeah, it was delayed, yeah.
Yeah.
And would you, so if someone watching this is thinking, yeah, I'd love to utilise social media, I think both of us are probably in agreement that you should also build something sustainable, not rely solely on a platform. Mm-hmm. You should build something alongside it.
Yeah, which in turn, if you're speaking of something that is sustainable and long-term value, you're not going to be chasing the next NFT craze or something very short-lived. You want to be talking about something that's going to be valuable to someone long-term, which in turn will allow you to create something that's not going to take 5 minutes. It's going to be something that's going to last.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone seems to want results in 10 minutes. And if they haven't got results in 10 minutes, they start chasing the next thing. Oh, I'll give these a go.
Do you know what? I think with social media painting the picture that success is overnight, it comes from looking at other people, not focusing on your own journey, which we spoke about last time, because when you focus on building your own thing and you actually get in the thick of trying to build a business alongside social media to elevate it, you realise how hard it is and how quick the days go by without getting the results that you wanted, which were painted on social media. It's hard. So when you actually ignore and stop watching everyone else and you actually focus on trying to build your business, utilising social media, you'll realise that Monday to Monday comes around real quick, and you don't always get the results, and nothing was overnight. And that's where I've experienced it a lot most recently as I've gone into more coaching. People do think, Aaron, why is it taking so long? I thought this was going to be quicker. No.
I know.
Like, you've got to be in this for 5 years minimum.
I know. People say to me all the time. Mad. They say, I can't believe your videos haven't got more views, or I can't believe you've only got this many subscribers. And I'm like, why? Like, this is how long it takes.
Yeah. And also quality, like, stop focusing on views. it's always quality over quantity.
Yeah.
You'd rather have 100 people watch you and potentially 20 serious buyers than 1,000 or 10,000 scrawny 14-year-olds who just, who are quite immature.
It's just throw away.
And no money.
Yeah. Yeah, they throw away the content. People become desensitized to value, I think, now. You've got a lot of value inside of you, and if you wrote down all of your achievements,
One more on
there'd be a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who would kill to just overcome something that you've managed to overcome.
Yeah.
Just talk about that. Just share it. Stay in your lane. You'll be really confident talking about it.
Yeah.
Because you've done it, for a start, and that just comes out more than anything. That comes out on camera. People just know, like they can sniff. Humans' ability to just go, that is BS or that isn't, is very tuned.
People are well attuned to it now.
Yeah.
With building a business on social media, I would say most people are in for a shock and do have a shock because you realise very quickly you're the creator, the editor, the marketer, the customer service, the liaison officer, you're the manager, you're the cleaner. You are everything in the beginning because you don't have a budget.
No.
And take out, if you've got rich parents, this isn't for you. If what I'm saying and you've got rich parents, makes no odds. But if you're starting from zero, you're going to be everything. And then most people struggle because they're also running a family life as well. That's where the breaking point is. I've seen it loads of times now.
Oh, yeah.
That's the breaking point.
And that's where you have to, again, if you haven't got belief in what you're talking about, that's what will hold you back.
Yeah.
That's where you'll go, do you know what? I can't even convince my family to buy into this idea.
Yeah.
Because you can't convince yourself.
No.
So it is really important to, one, believe in what you're talking about because you've done it. And two, when you have that level of integrity and confidence, then people buy into it anyway. Yeah. My wife, my wife did. Definitely went through different stages of different levels of growth and stuff and caused friction and all sorts of interesting conversations.
It's probably one of the best traits to have is having the ability to accept time.
Yeah.
Because we all want it now. I want it now.
Yeah.
I wanted it yesterday, but
I
think I've just come to learn that, I'm not going to win the lottery. I'm not going to come into loads of inheritance. So I've just had to learn to adopt patience.
Yeah.
I mean, not being funny, it's the same with what we're doing right now with fitness. You don't get a body overnight.
No.
I mean, my God.
That does take continuous work.
Just all the time. All platforms look to put you in front of an audience, and if you're spread too thinly and you're not committed and you're kind of dibble-dabbling here and there, you don't grow, which is when people go, I'm not growing.
Yeah.
Why, what are you doing? Well, I do a little bit of this, and 2 days later I repost, and then a day later I'll do that. There's no on it.
No, there's a lot of merit in what I was saying at the beginning, picking something that you're inspired to actually talk about, something you've achieved yourself, but also trying to put a bigger reason behind that, and solving a big problem.
Yeah.
So, you could say, I talk about money, but my bigger vision is that I believe that when we're actually free and able to focus on meaningful stuff that's important to us, we become better humans, we become better people. We can think more creatively, we can come up with better ideas, we can contribute more. You're a better parent, better partner, better colleague, whatever. So having your financial game in order is what allows you to get into that state. So I think that the world will be better by sharing my information.
Yeah.
Because everyone I touch with that, I know that we'll create a better world, literally.
You think clearer, don't you?
Yeah.
We said that last time, there's less brain fog. When you've got your shit in gear, there's less brain fog.
Yeah.
There really is.
But because I have that bigger reason, I don't want to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that everyone will benefit from this.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. So
to the right people that will listen as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you find your audience. And
some might not be ready yet.
Yeah. It's a maturity thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of immature people on social media, and I think you've got to take the good with the bad.
Whenever you share knowledge that is outside of the mass knowledge, you are shunned upon by the masses. That's literally what witches were. It's they were burned at the stake for sharing ideas that were against the common way of thinking. And that's why you have to be careful. Like if you go on TikTok, for instance, and you share some, like I've shared things before where most of the people on there are going to go against me.
Yeah.
And you have to be all right with that. But you have to believe in what you're talking about.
You just have to accept it.
You don't have imposter syndrome when you believe what you're talking about because it's got you a result.
We're getting ready for Tough Mudder. It's going to be running around.
2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to be running around, shredded. We're going to win because everyone will just be in awe. No one will actually be chasing us.
Yeah, remember that. Remember he said that. And then watch the footage of the day.
Nice.
Staying in your lane is a big thing, I think, for building trust as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing how humans build trust. I mean, you'll see that everything I own is black, blue, grey and white, literally. That's all I ever wear. Even my gym equipment. And when I show up to something, people expect to see that colour.
Yeah.
And although it's not conscious, it's subconscious. When reality meets the expectation, it's like, I can relax.
That's why I brought grey today.
Right.
Because I knew that's one of the colours.
Yeah.
I've got navy blue, I've got black, and I've got grey and white.
Yeah. And those colours haven't just come from a decision I've made. It's been colours that I've been naturally drawn to my whole life. So all of my cars have been that colour since I passed my test.
Yeah.
Everything I've owned, all my clothes, everything, my watch, my motorbike. And that your business then becomes an extension of you. So you naturally pick and tune into these colours. Now people subconsciously see that on me. When I show up, they go, that's what I expected. And that plants a little lodge of trust. And then the next time you show up, if you're wearing red, they're like, what? It froze them. A lot to be said for that. So when on social media, you have to keep talking about the same thing. Yeah. Keep talking about your messages. Make it your message. Make it your own philosophy, methodology, and just talk about it as if you've got your own spin on something that's, you haven't reinvented the wheel, but it's your philosophies and your path of how you think people should go about doing it, and that becomes yours. You know, and then they link that and tie that to all of your brand colours and your,
It's like your own trademark.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Really powerful.
Like if you really want to thrive on social media, grow a brand, make a business, earn lots of money, because we are in a world of attention right now, which is the biggest asset, I always go by attention, solution, retention, validation, conversion. And that's like almost the customer journey when they come into your like social ecosystem. You've got to grab their attention because it's a hyper-competitive world. You've got to provide a solution instantly because otherwise people don't want to listen. People aren't bothered about what you've had for dinner.
No.
And then you've got to retain them. They will validate you. And then if you show up consistently, like Jason said, and you've got this constant theme that you are addressing, then you should get the conversion. Yeah. Because they say, was it you that said it's about a 12-week period, something like that?
Yeah.
They come into your ecosystem.
About 12 weeks. I mean, that's just the algorithms as well of social media. Social media like this, in my opinion, people focus too much on algorithms and focus too much on when to post and things like that. I know there's an important, that does have some weight, but it's those platforms' job to make money out of showing your content to the right people. Yeah. They will figure all that out. Don't worry about it. Like, that's not your job to worry about that, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So I'll post 10 posts at 6 in the morning, leave it a couple of days, do a post in an evening. Yeah. I've never ever focused on that. Yeah. And the algorithm is designed to show your content. Like, they've got billions of pounds they're spending on doing that. Like, I haven't got to worry about that. Yeah. So the way that it gets shown to people enough, remember I said like 7 times before they really even hear you. Yeah. 20 times before they even like start to like you, 50 times before they start to like you. The way you do that is say the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Like, you have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. Don't think, I said that last week. They didn't see it last week.
That's new people see you all the time. And I will agree, in terms of TikTok as well, the average For You page is 60% of new people that have never seen your content. So you might be hearing, and that's what TikTok's great, but that's why when people are like, oh, I'm saying the same thing, you are, but you're drilling it down. You can say it in a slightly different way, but on TikTok specifically, it's always above 60% of new people that see you every time on a live stream and a post. But you will lose credibility if you suddenly change next week. Yeah. If you're in property, and you realise that didn't work out, and next week you're doing trading, everyone's going to be like, who's this guy? Or who's this woman? You build no trust. Doing that. So much better for social media, just for camera confidence, because people do lack camera confidence, to be in shape on camera.
Yeah. I mean,
like that helps.
Absolutely. I feel better. Everyone feels more comfortable when they're when they're happy with their body, right? You don't worry about angles. You don't worry about. Again, that's when the comments are going to hurt. When people go, "You've put on weight," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's going to make it harder for you to post because you don't like it about yourself."
Yeah.
Then again, there's people who are overweight and are happy with it, and then those comments won't worry those people. But yeah, definitely being fit and in shape is going to add to your odds of being more confident and pushing your social media, for sure.
It does, and I think it also says a lot about you. We've said that before. Shows that you've got disciplines, values, standards to meet. And camera confidence is what holds a lot of people back. They don't feel like they look ready for social media yet. Yeah. I totally get that. I do understand it. Right, we're going to try and go for 15.
Are these triceps like this?
No, it's overhead skull crushers.
Okay, yeah.
So set. Good. 12 to 15. Nice. I want to see these tries popping when you're doing Tough Mudder. Good. Come on, get them up.
That's a bit heavy, mate, for me.
All right.
I'll go down to the
12s next. Yeah. Matt, whatever you do, don't do me dirty. You done me dirty. He's doing me dirty. Got Jason the merch, so we're going to want to see Jason wearing this. Yeah. I didn't even get him the... Because I noticed we've got two types of hat. Got the other one, the aired one. But I noticed Jason wears a full head one. He's unlocking his peak performance. The money that you can earn is mind-boggling. It truly is.
It is.
It is mind-boggling. It's not easy. That's the other thing. I think, sometimes you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. Mind-boggling, but it's not easy. You have got to be, in a weird way, somewhat obsessed with what you do, in a healthy way. Like, these are all good habits, by the way. Some people are like, it could be so boring. Well, Gallup's proved last year, late last year, Gallup's latest survey, which is a worldwide American survey on the corporate world, it went from 85%, by the way, to 90% now people dislike their job. So early last year in 2023, it went from 85%, which was around 43 million people in the UK, to now the latest survey by Gallup's is 90%.
Wow.
And they track all of people's workplace happiness and what's going on and all these different surveys. What's 90% of the UK working adults? Well, that's about 47 million, 47 and a half maybe, last set.
Yeah.
So,
well, with
choose
the money,
your hard.
Yeah, but with the money, I mean, when I launched that video that did, it went nuts. After 3 months of that video triggering, we'd done about $1.8 million in sales. Yeah. Right. And if you think about that, I was on YouTube for 8 years, right? And at that point, when we did $1.8 million in 3 months, that was pretty much a 96% profit margin. At that point, I could then just stop and earn 180 grand for 10 years and not do another thing. So how long is long to generate that kind of money? Yeah. And then a year went by and it's like $12 million. So,
and what do you forecast? Because you've now rapidly grown on, to give people context.
Yeah.
You went from, what were you, like 46,000?
55.
55?
Yeah, to 310.
310,000.
In a year and 3 months.
In a year. So some people go, oh, that's short. I wonder if I could give that a crack. Well, you might be able to, but it's 8 years of graft. Yeah. And then, as we call it, the compound effect kicked in. Yep. Right timing, right video. Whether that one didn't work, just lastly, whether that one didn't work, you're still going to show up anyway and carry on.
Yeah.
It wasn't a case of that was the one video that was like, oh, thank God I can stop now. Yeah. We were still going to do another video next week.
That's it.
With no expectation.
But some people work in corporate and they get to about 120 grand a year maybe before, oh, fuck that.
Good.
Yeah. They get to about 120 grand a year before they cap out because the pressure and responsibility is too much. They'd
Yeah.
rather have less money at that point
Yeah.
and have more time and more sanity. So, but they've got to do that forever.
Yeah.
So how about like spend 5-8 years building something now that will...
Exactly.
It's guaranteed, honestly. It is guaranteed. If you show up and do it, you can't not make more money.
No. But I think people want an answer to when it will happen. People want, okay, I hear you.
I know there's uncertainty,
and
but there's
do it,
uncertainty in
but when will
everything.
it pay off? I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
But you've got to show up. You know, that's the thing. Just big squeeze, elbows tight. 5, 6. I'm going to go 17s. You try and go for 15s. All the way up. 1, 2. 24.
How many?
25. That's 30, isn't it? Let's get 15 on each arm.
15, right.
This is called the birth. Take a second, I'm on 17. Woo! Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
That was beastie. Look at the veins, we're getting the veins out
cheeky.
now.
Oh, mate.
Okay, last one on this.
Last set.
Yeah.
15.
Ah,
Woo! That was naughty.
that was fucking naughty. Oh. Okay, so top tips from Jason. If you haven't yet started on social media, but you really want to go all in, what is the first things, everything you know now, if you could start again with the vision of building a really trustworthy brand and a business, what would you do? What platform also would you focus on?
What platform? That's a good... I don't think it matters what platform. I think it just give your energy to one platform.
Okay.
So for me, whatever I've ever like focused on has always done well.
Yeah.
If I give my attention to YouTube, it goes well. If I focus on Instagram, it goes well. I think just stick to one and put a lot of energy into that rather than spread yourself too thin, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then just get better at talking. Like
Yeah.
just cut out the ums and ahs. Like just keep going live. Like put the parachute on and jump. Like get up, suit up, press go, talk. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Next day it'll be a little less terrible. Next day it'll be a little less terrible. Don't worry about technology and all the best cameras and all the best. Do have good sound.
Yeah.
I hate listening to things that have like crackling or bad audio. I hate it. I can't. It's unbearable. So
Yeah.
good audio. That's all that matters. And then take someone from A to B.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't post for the sake of posting. You look at all my stuff. There's a beginning, middle, and end, and it's very deliberate. It's not. Oh, I'm going to be doing this and doing that and talking about my cat or whatever. You know, it's
Yeah.
just very, very deliberate.
Yeah.
If you're doing it, and especially if you're doing it on the side, like a side hustle, you ain't got time to be wasting.
No.
Especially editing and all that, doing stupid stuff like that. Like, just
Post
good
to give.
message, value.
Yeah.
Keep sharing it until you get better at saying it.
That's good tips. And actually, the one we haven't spoken about that a lot. I would say, just to give my 2 pence worth, if you're starting from the very beginning and you want to thrive on social media and grow and monetize, that is one of the things to iron out. Get rid of ums and buts and have good audio. There's nothing worse than listening to someone who is constantly, but because it's almost like they don't believe their own stuff.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it might be a camera confidence thing, but iron out the ums and the buts and get punchy, get professional and good audio. I actually said this to some of my members recently. You need to improve on the audio because it's too crackly and flat, and it's painful to listen to.
Yeah.
Like these, they hold a bit of depth in your voice, and yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Get rid of the ums and the buts.
A good thing to practice to get rid of that is I always think before I speak, like to my family. Like they'll ask me a question, I'll go quiet and I'll answer it like a minute later, and they're like, "That was delayed," you know. But I want to give one answer.
Yeah.
I don't want to have like I think of every answer that I'm going to give is going to be available forever. So I want to say the right thing that I believe in.
Because you value your time.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I'm thinking about the best thing that I could stamp and go, I'm happy with that answer.
Yeah.
And that takes some thought. But if you get into the habit of doing that, you then cut out all the fluff. It's like you say something with intention and it's out.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. There's no ums and ers. It's just, that's what I believe.
I can tell you that's the case because, Jason, what did you do? Answer your WhatsApp once, twice a day? And it'll be the answer that you need.
Emails Monday afternoon and Thursday afternoon. WhatsApp once a day.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Cool, I like these.
8, 9, 10. Then we switch straight away. You go slightly lighter, no break. 3 sets of each.
What's your biggest tips then?
Yeah, I would say pick a platform, but I would say the platform you choose to go on should be dependent on your clientele. I think depending on who you're eventually trying to stamp a bit of an authority on would perhaps be a direction on what platform you use. I would say that some people, it'd be pointless to go on LinkedIn if you're not after business owners and investors and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to find your more sort of domestic clients on there. I think maybe knowing the platform and then saying to yourself, 6 months. I came off Instagram in 2021 for 7 months because I was too spread and I wanted to monetize YouTube. So I came off Instagram for 7 months. You realise no one gives a shit anyway. No one asked me how I was.
Yeah, no.
Which is clarity. And I just focused on YouTube and I monetized.
Right.
Took me ages to get the 4,000 watch hours, but I just focused on the one thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew that YouTube was going to be such an integral part of my brand going forward. So I proved it that I was still on LinkedIn for my investors, but I went all in on YouTube. Yeah. Just to get past 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours.
And that's when you're spread too thin. That's when no one notices as well. Like if you're just going in on one platform and you disappear, people notice.
Yeah.
I remember when I sat and wrote a 5,000 word email newsletter every Sunday. Yeah. 86 Sundays. And if I didn't send that out one week, people were straight on the emails. Where is it? Because it was their consistent coffee time in the morning. Yeah. You know, they looked forward to it and that built trust. Yeah. If I was doing that and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and Snapchat and all that, my heart wouldn't have gone into the newsletter enough for them to even notice.
And it's more credible to say, I've got 100,000 followers on one platform than go, I've got 300 on there, 200 on there.
Because half of them are probably the same anyway.
Yeah, and you also find that people don't move over to platforms.
Right.
Like, it's very hard to ask your YouTube followers to go follow you on Instagram. Fuck me.
Oh, that is bad. We're
now just going to finish off on just blitzing these.
Oh, I've got to get on a motorbike after this.
One more set. I'm going to go 10, 10. I'm going to jump on there, 10, 10, and then we're done. So we're going to do one more on each. We're going to switch.
Of the same things?
Yeah. So I'm going to do one more of these. Then I'm going to do one of those. You're going to do one of those and one of those.
But 10 of everything on both?
No, just down from here.
Right.
Just go, but straight away. 1, 2, 9, 10.
Oh, these are horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Juicy.
My forearms ain't been like this since I was 16.
And this morning.
I used to have rugby socks. Mate, they're horrible.
There we go. We've blitzed it. Yeah. They are...
I feel slightly swollen.
Yeah, that's a good pump. And there we go. And that was pretty rapid.